We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless.
Well, I don't want to get involved in something that Pamela is involved with. If you'd like to say something, Pam?
You're next. Get ready. It's over. It ends, and we're coming after you.
This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side, and the one institution that has stood by our side is the courts. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
Federal prosecutors have officially opened a criminal investigation into New York Attorney General Letitia James. At a media event in Albany yesterday, U.S. Attorney John Sarcone wouldn't comment.
I only know what I read in the paper or what's been reported in the media. So whatever's been reported in the media, that's all I know.
I believe there was a statement from your office that sort of confirms that.
I heard about the statement, and I called the reporter and told them that I'm not going to say you misquoted, but what was meant by that statement was whatever is reported in the media is all that my office is aware of.
The New York Post claims the initial request for an investigation that was sent last month specifically referred to Sarcone's office. But again, you heard him there claiming that he only knows what has been already reported in the media. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik responding to the investigation, commending the FBI's decision to look into claims of mortgage fraud. She went on to call the AG hypocritical, arguing that her case is similar to the civil fraud case that she launched against President Trump and his company in New York. That case claims the president's company committed business fraud in the Empire State.
It's just, you cannot emphasize the fact any stronger than this. New York State is corrupt. That's because of the politicians, not us. The latest is Letitia James. So as you know, she's in trouble. She did something with a mortgage in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and she misstated an apartment that she owns in Brooklyn. It's fraud. She may be charged by the Justice Department. Has not been yet. However, she needs lawyers. So, in the new budget bill, listen to this, okay? They are creating a $10 million fund, Albany is, to cover, quote, any reasonable attorney's fees and expenses incurred as part of a Trump administration-led probe tied to their state-based employment. That is a Letitia James $10 million slush fund paid for by you and me. And this is what Albany has in the bill, and this is what Kathy Hochul will sign. So James is going to have access to $10 million of our money, not her money, to pay for her defense if she's charged by the Justice Department. That is corrupt. Now, here is the kicker on the story. Donald Trump racked up millions of dollars of legal fees defending himself against Letitia James and Alvin Bragg. You know, all of those cases, Trump himself had to pay lawyers. Where did the money come from? It came from Trump's political action committees. And that's entirely legal. If you are a politician running for office, you have a political action committee raising funds for your overall welfare. You can use it for anything you want. And that's how Trump paid his lawyers to defend him against the charges from James and Bragg. So you could say, well, Trump's doing the same thing. But you would be wrong, because people donate to political action committees, the MAGA Trump stuff, voluntarily. They give their money because they want to. This ruse in Albany, this scam is forced upon we, the people of New York State. We're not volunteering to pay Letitia James's legal fees. Albany, and they have buried this in the budget. So most people have no blanket idea it's even in there. But the New York Post does a pretty good job of laying it out, and I picked up the story, and I'm telling you about it tonight. So it is not the same. If you volunteer to give a politician money, you assume that politician is going to use that money for whatever he or she wants, whatever reason, as long as it's legal. And political action committees to pay attorneys is legal. Now, this slush fund they're setting up out of Albany, I don't think it's legal, but who's going to challenge it? It's got to be challenged in court. So, boy, oh boy, you know, I don't want to be cynical, but it gets worse and worse and worse. And there's really, unless a Republican wins the governorship, which is possible, there's not going to be any reform on the Democratic side. There's not. Even if Cuomo gets elected mayor of New York, which he will, I don't think he's going to reform the system. He's going to try to get along with it. That's what he did as governor. That's what I think he'll do as mayor. He's not going to try to reform it. But if Elise Stefanik, for example, runs for governor and defeats Hochul, I think she would reform it, or try anyway.
New York Attorney General Letitia James is now the subject of Department of Justice investigation over some of her real estate dealings. She's reportedly being accused of listing a home in Virginia as her primary residence and putting down her dad as her husband on the mortgage applications. Last month, the Federal Housing Finance Agency referred Letitia James for possible DOJ prosecution. Here's part of the statement. Based on media reports, Letitia James falsified bank documents and property records to acquire government-backed assistance and loans and more favorable loan terms. Well, Letitia James calls those allegations baseless. In fact, last night she was heckled about them at a town hall meeting. There's just something about yelling at the American voter that just rings hollow. She'll see. Letitia James has hired high-profile attorney Abby Lowell to defend her, and she says she will keep fighting.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side, and the one institution that has stood by our side is the courts. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
They have two documents that she signed that are notarized that very clearly say, I intend to live in Virginia as my principal residence. She's got more than one house in Virginia, from what I understand. Who's living there? Are the rents being reported? These are all going to be investigated, etc. She's also got the building here in Brooklyn, which she has consistently listed when she goes for the mortgages, and the thing has been remortgaged a number of times as 4 residences. However, the Department of Buildings lists the certificate of occupancy, which is the defining document throughout the entire history of that building, as 5 residences. Why does that matter? Because coincidentally, above 4, 5 and above, you're a commercial establishment and your mortgage is higher. So this is where they're going. They're going to pull all the documents. And the reason this is they've opened a grand jury. Now they have subpoena power, and that's got to be making her nervous. So is she inflating the value of her properties? And why put your dad down as your husband? Is that illegal? No. So the statute of limitations almost certainly ran on the dad thing because it's like 30 years old. But it just shows you a pattern all along of the kind of stuff that she's been doing. It's very confusing, and it really just seems like they were very slipshod about all of it, but they're going to have to show intent. And I just want to close with the fact that they just snuck in yesterday a $10 million budget line on the New York State budget to defend anybody who's being targeted by Donald Trump. I wonder who that's supposed to help. Kathy Hochul, governor, if you sign this, we're going to remember next year when you run for re-election.
Democrats, they said, no, the DOJ isn't under Biden. It's
so mortgage fraud is a serious thing. I mean, I've covered housing forever, and let me tell you, you can get 30 years for mortgage fraud.
They destroy people on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's $1 million fine. It could go anywhere, and that's what she needs to be thinking about, and that may be why she's answering these questions in the way she is.
Look what she did to Trump.
You are the person who ran on calling Donald Trump a con man. You called him a carnival barker. You said you wanted to shine a bright light into every dark corner of his real estate dealings. You ran on targeting a man, which is the antithesis of the justice system, and then tried to prosecute him civilly for something that was a victimless crime that had no precedent for doing that. So give me a break talking about targeted. You ran on targeting.
That's right.
No, they feel so entitled, and that's what a jury won't appreciate, because as hardworking New Yorkers have to bust their behinds in order to secure a mortgage in the first place. Rates aren't very good right now. They don't look kindly on people who skirt the system and game it in order to get a more favorable mortgage rate, which is exactly what she was doing. I mean, that's why you don't get a sweetheart rate on a second home.
She's innocent until proven guilty. We want to make sure that that's clear. But it's a serious case.
That's all for today. Thank you. If you want global news to keep you up to date on any new developments, please subscribe our channel and forward our content with your friends on social media and email. Thank you very much for keep supporting me. Stay safe, be blessed. Namaste.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.